Welcome to Las Vegas Trader YouTube channel and a weekly analysis video of the financial markets. Keep in mind, these videos are not financial advice and should not be taken as such. It's for education and entertainment purposes only. Okay, so also I want to say that I usually stream live on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, the New York Open session. About 5 to 10 minutes before the market opens, the New York session. And also, I might be streaming this Sunday also at 3 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific Standard Time. I haven't decided yet. But let's just jump right into the charts and see what happened and what might happen this week. So this is the S&P 500, the daily chart. So as you remember, I called for this move down because once we took out this green bar, this big green bar, the next stop was the I called for 5100, and that's exactly what happened. So this happened in 2 days, and then we just chopped around up and down. But then on Thursday we had this green bar, just completely almost took out this bar, this tail. But so let's just call it took out these two tails, right? So now that suggests we're gonna go a little higher. But we had very little follow through on Friday with this little bar here. So, and we're sitting right at resistance. So we retraced about 50% from here to here, about 50%, right? So we might roll over actually, but it will be kind of difficult because this is pretty powerful bar, pretty strong move up. So there will be a lot of resistance moving down. So we probably might have to wait for these moving averages to catch up to the price action and push them down. So we might see a little more move. It should move with this kind of action, this kind of powerful bar. It usually suggests higher prices, but we got only one little bar the next day. So that's not a good indication of higher prices, but it should at least put up another day. So maybe Monday will go higher, retest these recent, let's say this resistance over here, right around 5400 or so, and maybe these tails here, so 5440 or so. So this 20-day moving average is going to catch up and then push it down. But then again, it depends how strong the move is. If it's just weak move, nothing really strong like this, then we should see rolling over. But let's take a look at the weekly, what it looks like. So as you can see, it's a bottomy tail with a green body. So that suggests higher prices. So we might see, like I said, we might see maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday, get above the 20-day moving average and then roll over, because we had the first crack at this 50-day moving average and we just bounced up. And the monthly chart, as you can see, like I've been mentioning every single week, that this pattern looks very similar to this, doesn't it? I mean, look at this bar, this monthly bar, look at this monthly bar. So we could be just chopping up and down until the end of the month, so it looks, identical, and then continue. Or we just might fill this bar completely. So nobody knows what's going to happen. We're only about a week and a half into the month. So anyways, let's move on to NASDAQ, the daily chart. So as you can see, pretty much the same picture. I called for this move down, for these prices to be hit, 17.6, 17.5, and we just went just a little past that. But 17, what was it? What's the low? It was 17,350. Okay, so then again, so as you can see, this Thursday move took out these two tails right off of the 20-day, the 200-day moving average. So very little follow through. But then on Monday we might see and retest the bottom of this candle and this resistance. So I think that's what's going to happen on Monday, and then possibly roll over again. Because the weekly chart looks similar to the S&P 500 with the bottoming tail of the 50-day moving average. So we may actually, on a weekly chart, we may actually test the 19,000 and the 20-day moving average. Right? So 19,000 would be right around here. So it's possible. We may actually get that. So then the 20-day moving average will catch up and push it down. And the monthly chart again looks very similar to this pattern. So let's move on to Dow Jones, the daily chart. Pretty much the same thing. As I mentioned, we formed a double top, a lower high, strong move down to the 200. And same thing here. So we might see a little move up, and then roll over. But maybe retest these 40,000 level. And the weekly chart didn't quite make the green body, still red. So but I think eventually, I think during the week we're gonna roll over to the downside. And the monthly chart. So we need to close the month below these three bars, these three green bars. Then it's lookout down below. Let's go to Russell, the daily chart. Same picture. We completely just erased this move up with these 1, 2, 3 bars. So, and then again, we hit support and the 200-day moving average, and same thing. Okay, so then again, we might be just chopping here for a couple days or so between the 50 and the 200, and until the 20-day moving average rolls over lower and pushes the prices down. So that's the daily. The weekly looks like this. So it looks very similar with the Dow Jones. This bottoming tail. So we are sitting right at the 200. So I think, well, we might go a little higher and then roll over. But I think eventually this week we're going to roll over a little to the downside. And let's go to the monthly just quickly. And the monthly, I mean, we did take out this bar. We just didn't close the month yet, so we still have a couple weeks to go. So that's what I think is going to happen. Crude oil. So we hit this support level like I called for. We're going to go lower, I said, last week. I thought maybe we might hit the bottom of this support here roughly around $71, but we were just short of that, 71.60. Okay, and then we had the strong move up, and now we're sitting at the moving averages, the 20 and the 50. But we are above the 200-day moving average. So I think we might be going higher in crude. And when you look at the weekly chart, it confirms the move to the upside. And the monthly chart, of course, we still have a lot of time in the month, but I mentioned that this bar of the 20-day moving average tells us we're going to go higher. So as long as we don't close below this tail for the month, we should continue higher. Let's go to gold. Daily chart. So we've been chopping here between 2,500 and 2,350. And then we came down here to the 50-day moving average at a nice big bar. And that would suggest that we are sitting above the 20-day moving average. So that suggests higher prices for gold on a daily chart. The weekly, same thing. The 20-day moving average is pushing higher pretty steeply. So continuation to the upside. And the monthly, as you can see, for prices to go lower, we need to close below this green bar. If we close below, definitely going lower. So we still have a lot of time in the month. So daily chart on silver, very similar, just more volatile. Was a bigger down move. I mean, we came $33, and now we're sitting at, we came down to, let's call it 27, 26.50, $27. That's $5 in silver. That's a significant, very significant move down. So now again, we bounced off the 200-day moving average with this green bar. A little small pause bar. We might come down a little more and then continue up. Catch up to the 20-day moving average. This is the weekly. So we might, the 20-day moving average is still rising, and we bounced off the 200 and the 50. So we might retest it again and form another tail. That's what I would like to see. And then move higher. But we can just continue moving lower. Because we almost took out this green bar completely in the tail. So, and the monthly chart looks bullish. We're sitting above the moving averages. So as long as we don't close below this green bar, this big green bar, we should be okay. So that's the monthly chart. Let's go to Bitcoin, the daily chart. Very similar to the indices and the NASDAQ. We had this green bar form on Thursday, and then Friday, just like a pause bar, because we hit this 200-day moving average. So it would suggest we're going higher because of this big strong move up. But we need power to get through this 20-day moving average. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. So the weekly, of course, like I said, I called for the prices to come down and hit this 50-day moving average, and that's exactly what happened. But now we're sitting with this bottoming tail off the 50. So we're probably going to be going higher this week. But then if we retest this 20-day moving average, which is rolling over, and we don't close above it, we might roll over, like I think is going to happen to the indices. So that's the weekly. Let's take a look at the monthly chart, what it looks like. I mean, we're just forming these tails here on the monthly chart. So, and the 20-day moving average is catching up to push these prices higher. So, but we still have a lot of time, like I've been saying, for the month. 2.5 weeks. Okay. So let's go to the dollar. I already drew the line here. As you can see, the trend line. So we came down, as you remember, I called for this move down. And so now we almost, well, we did take out this red bar with a tail, but Friday just dipped below it. So, but I think we're going higher. So if we're, because this trend line, 3 points of, 3 touches of this trend line and move up. So, let's take a look at the weekly here. Yeah, I think we're going higher for the dollar. So if the dollar is going higher, gold and silver should be going lower a little bit. So, but let's see what the monthly looks like. Yeah, so we're kind of stuck in this. Right. So we might be going higher and just chop around within this range here, and then break out to the upside or break down. So I think we're going higher. And last but not least, the bonds. This chart is not looking, it's not the prettiest looking chart with all these gaps. So we had this big move up, what I called, okay? But then we had a retracement. We hit $100 and we came down probably like 50-60%, which I don't really like. Let's take a look at the weekly chart here. So the reversed head and shoulders is still in play. Here's the one shoulder, the head, and the second shoulder. So on the weekly chart, this big green bar of the moving averages tells us we're going higher. But then this red bar, we had not too many gaps on the weekly chart, right? Not very many. So so we formed this gap, and we just came down and filled it, about 50% of this bar. So I think, so now these moving averages, I hope they start curving up, and the 20 crosses over, which is almost there, crosses over above the 50 and pushes the prices higher. And the monthly chart, this is not printing the right candle here. Let me take a look at here. That's what it should look like, this bar right here. So this is the 10-year notes. So we should be sitting. Okay, so we're sitting. So we should be. This should be a body and a tail here. So we broke above the 20-day moving average, and we came down. So, but I think for the month still we have a lot of time. The reverse head and shoulders in play. We took out this red bar, and now we should see continuation to the upside. So, yeah, I don't know why it's not drawing the correct candle. But that's it for this week. We'll call it here. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and the bell notification icon. And don't forget, I will be going live day trading on Tuesday and Wednesday, and possibly this Sunday. So if you have not already done so, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification icon and give it a thumbs up. If you have not watched last week's video, which was a very important video, go back and look at it and see what I called for, and look at the charts and see what happened. I think you'll be impressed. But that's it, and we'll see you next week. Take care.